That's good.
I'll try, but I'll never succeed to fix you.
Beautiful.
What?
Welcome back to What the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
And together we are
Ryan and John.
on the couch as always. Producer carefully on the ones and twos, and it's
Is everyone just doing
Scoverman.
You're not doing your leg.
Thank you. Same arm, same leg.
To the side.
Beautiful. That was really
I
nice.
do like
it
that
back
burnt
down.
orange. Is kind of really nice.
It is
kind of
around the
nice.
couch.
A little orange hue.
Well, I'm
for
gonna
Thanksgiving.
start you off with an easy one here.
ahead.
I just read an article from 2016, and it said an 18-year-old was suing their parents for posting pictures of them on Facebook throughout their entire life, suing them for multiple millions of dollars.
No.
What do you think about that?
Yikes.
Good.
Good.
Good. Yeah, they deserve it.
The parents or the
No,
kid?
the parents deserve to be sued.
I feel like that's a loophole for
Yeah,
a sue.
give me a little more.
That's it. I stand by that.
Okay,
I
well-
plead the fifth for the rest.
Okay, thank you. Good call.
It doesn't really track because, like, well, I mean, I guess you could sue anybody for anything, I guess.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I
Emotional damages or them like taking.
When I hear that, I hear like an extremely strained relationship. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
it had to.
for sure.
It has to really crash and burn to get to the point where like I'm suing my parents now.
For sure.
And you're like, but people are like,
And this was a couple
why?
of years ago now, so it's like,
Crazy.
yeah, it's just kind of funny. I mean, don't you like aren't you entitled to like some kind of agency like of your own image? And I feel like it's the same kind of thing with like child
not when
actors,
you're, not when
but
you're
not.
under 18.
It kind of gives me my sister's
You're
keeper
custody
vibe.
of your parents.
What's that?
My sister's
Your
keeper.
parents
I
are
don't
custody of
know.
you.
I don't
It's
know.
it's a book by Jodie
It's a Hallmark movie.
Picoult. No, it's a very famous movie.
What
with
was that
Cameron
word you
Diaz.
said?
It's
You
her
said-
last name.
what
It's
was that?
Picoult.
No,
Picoult.
book. What was that?
Book. Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
don't
You
know.
wouldn't know what that is.
I don't know. Is that
you don't
like
know how to read.
No. What was
But
that
it's
other word
also
you said?
a
Read.
movie.
Okay. Oh, okay. I know
You know
movie. I know
movies?
movie.
Where basically
I know
this girl
movie.
sues her parents because for like control over her own body because she was created after they had her like IVF kind of style
Okay.
after their first daughter got leukemia and they
Okay.
basically like the idea is like she was kind of like
Engineered.
raised to be it's her sister's keeper. Like she's supposed to give her sister a kidney or her sister's gonna die, and she's like, no, like I don't want to give a kidney. You've been taking blood and bone marrow and everything, and
So she is born and alive, and they're like,
And
I
it-
understand.
and
I
it's-
understand.
They're
it's
like
not
kind of
like-
Nick Cannoning the whole thing.
Like
You're
they're
like,
Nick
it's kind of
Cannon.
Nick
we're,
Cannon.
we're having like
and it's not like they're not
to
like
treat
neglecting
the
her.
next
Like if there's
kid
also
or-
she's also a
I don't
loved
know.
child, but the whole thing is Alec Baldwin is her lawyer, and she's suing her parents over autonomy, and he's like, if
Alec Baldwin, huh?
they're like,
Remember
if
when he used to act.
if you don't give her a kidney, what's gonna happen? She's like, yeah, she'll die. Like, I get it.
But she
Do you want
also
me to just
she's like,
spoil
I didn't
it?
ask to be born, right?
Would
I mean,
you-
yeah, sure. Spoil it. What's that?
Never mind.
I did catch your Alec Baldwin joke.
No,
Nice.
no, not the
Very
joke. Not the
funny.
joke.
Did you?
Very
hear
funny that girl
Did you hear
died
that?
like almost a year ago now.
I wasn't
John
making
made the joke.
I wasn't making a joke about that. I was just saying he's not in any movies anymore. He's like quit
Well, I
acting.
wonder why. Maybe he was traumatized.
yeah, he's too busy making like 1 year ago posts.
He's also
like-
he's also suing.
who? Alec Baldwin?
He's suing. He's suing.
That actually tracks.
Is it his company?
The gun.
No,
He's suing his own company. That's baller.
I think so.
Love it.
That's what I'm gonna do.
You should. You should.
Sue Albright Entertainment.
About time we start making some
You know,
money around here.
Jeez.
Dang.
Zing.
But let me just spoil the movie.
He sues to clear his name in the movie set.
oh,
Okay, I don't
He's
understand.
he's just suing.
So like defamation.
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah.
Go ahead, spoil the movie, Annie.
The movie. Well, I'll spoil the movie and the book. So if you want
Nice.
to read My Sister's Keeper,
You can't.
you can't.
No, don't
so
do
the
it.
movie is her sister dies and she wins the court case and
Beautiful.
She, and,
Well, it's
and
kinda
their- and
moot
their
at that
family,
point.
Is this
but
the one with Abigail Breslin?
Yeah, and their family kind of
Okay.
like heals over
Healing.
time in the sense that like they realize that like one of the last lines is I realized it didn't matter, like it didn't matter that my sister died, but the fact that it mattered that I had a sister at all.
Does that one
Kinda
also
thing.
have Carrie Underwood?
No, who was
You're
it?
thinking
I
of
think
Soul
so.
Surfer.
I know, that's why I said also.
Cameron Diaz. is her
Cameron
mom.
Diaz.
But it's the
Cameron
whole
Diaz.
thing of like you see the family go through this turmoil of having this terminally ill kid,
Uh huh.
and like at one point the dad wants to take her to the beach and the mom is yelling at him. She's like, "You're gonna kill her! You're gonna kill her!" And he goes, "If you don't come with us to the beach, then I want a divorce because like you're not letting her live."
Oh.
And then he drives off, and then Cameron Diaz like meets him at the beach, and like
obviously.
basically the kind of thing of like,
That's beautiful.
Are you gonna continue to like ruin your life?
Cameron
trying to,
Diaz is the one that's not going to the beach?
Yeah. Well, it's like, are you gonna ruin like like all of your lives by trying to like get her to live another day longer, or are you gonna let her just live now?
Beautiful.
And so, but in the book, so Abigail in both settings wins the court case. Or I think her name's Anna in the movie. In
Okay.
both So Anna wins the court case. She gets autonomy over her own body, and her lawyer Alec Baldwin is like her like legal guardian at that point, or gets like right to attorney over her because she's a minor still. And in the book, she gets in a car accident right before her sister like needs a kidney, and Alec Baldwin still gives her kidney to her sister. And that's how the book ends. Anna dies in a car accident like right before, and Alec Baldwin makes the decision to save her sister's life.
Dang. That's kind of messed up.
Was that you?
That's so embarrassing.
That came up your throat.
Embarrassing. What I was going to say before you accused me of
Hating people?
trying to make some awful joke about
Pretty
Alec
funny,
Baldwin
though. Good joke.
is I was going to ask, who do you like if I needed a kidney?
No.
Nope.
No.
Okay, screw all you.
Go ahead.
Nope. No kidneys for you.
How long do you need? How many?
How many kidneys?
You've already said what you need to say.
No, go
That's
ahead.
it.
Answer. Say the full question. Let me. That
Let
was
him
a
give you a
funny
pro-
answer.
Seriously? I was gonna. I'll just rephrase it. Who in your life would you give a kidney to? Where do you draw the line?
That's tough. I mean,
You got to be a match
it's
first.
a big question.
No,
yeah,
no,
let's say you're a match.
You're always a
I'm
match.
not just gonna
You're
like
always a
offer
match.
up a kidney to somebody that doesn't need it.
You're just like, you want my kidney? Like, it won't work.
I already had it cut out. Here it is.
Here, just take it.
I don't know. I mean,
It's okay. I love how you're like, I don't know.
I've never really like considered it. I don't know what my life would be like without the kidney.
Isn't it just a part of your kidney?
Yeah, it's only a piece. It's
It's
not
a piece of your kidney.
No.
Yeah.
you can have a piece.
You can give her a whole kidney.
No, because you will die without
we
your
go.
whole kidney.
No,
Definitely.
not
No,
true.
you
Not
need
true.
two
That's why you have
kidneys.
two of
You
them.
can have one kidney. You can survive with one kidney.
This is what I love about these arguments.
I thought it was just a piece.
No, you do. I mean, traditionally, that's what I thought is you give a whole kidney because you can live with one, but you can't live with none.
Have you guys been
can't
seeing
live
the
with
But
one.
you
video?
can live without two.
Have you been
About-
seeing the video on TikTok of the kidney being like sliced open and someone like preparing it?
Yeah, they eat it. That's
It's
a cow
weird.
kidney.
It's
I
not
know,
a
but-
human kidney.
But I mean, it
Is
looks
it?
like a human kidney. It looks
It
like
does
kidney
look like a
beans.
big kidney bean. I will say, I mean, obviously, like, if you asked me, I wouldn't be like, no, I need that kidney.
I don't know. I think you might.
You will.
I don't
Here's
know.
my thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because then you'll start thinking
Yeah,
about
I'm
the
gonna be asking you
needles.
for a kidney.
Then you'll start thinking about the
New liver.
needles and the operation.
I
and
think
you're like,
liver
no.
is the one that you can get a piece of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Must
you can
be.
get
Must
a
be.
piece
I don't
of
know.
liver.
It doesn't matter. The question, the logistics
matter.
aren't
It's-
important. The
all he cares
question
about is that you'll
would
give him
you
a
do
kidney.
it? Would
I
you
mean,
do it?
yeah, sure.
Really.
I don't know.
Really, he doesn't believe you.
It sounds like you know the
It's a
logistics
great question,
of it.
actually. So,
Okay.
because I have a question to ask
really?
you. No, I'm just kidding.
Will you give me your kidney?
No,
I mean,
that's kind of an interesting thing because they have those programs with like bone marrow too, where you can like sign up to be a donor.
I've
to some
never
random
donated
person.
blood because I
Don't
well,
like
for one, I
needles.
hate needles. But I just don't really. Some people, like my uncle, is like he's literally in like the 100-gallon
100-gallon
club,
club.
or something. He
Isn't that
donates
crazy?
he donates blood at every possible convenience for
I
him.
think like
idea of
every
thinking
6 months he
100
donates blood.
He had a best friend that died like in a drunk driving accident. That's why he makes a yearly post on the anniversary, like, hey, like don't drink and drive. Everyone, like wherever you are, I'll come give you a ride. Like he makes this awesome post, but he also donates a lot of blood too. So it's like some people are like that. They're like, I'll donate blood, I'll donate plasma, whatever you need. They just want to help out. Me, I just don't have that drive.
Yeah.
I like my blood where it is, you know?
Okay. Okay. No, you're right. No, you're right.
I have like a major like hero complex, so I would gladly give someone
I'm
a
sure
kidney.
you would.
Yeah.
Have
And,
you
like,
have you donated blood?
Yes, I've donated
Okay.
blood.
You are a
I've,
hero for that.
I've never
Thank you.
done it.
Yeah, I've donated blood. It was just kind of like a thing where like I feel
Maybe
like
we
as a-
should just.
I've donated.
So, like,
I've
say we
donated
could-
blood to be tested.
Okay, that's not donating. That's just.
count.
It's not
that's
donating at all.
giving
actually.
up
Literally,
blood.
there was one time where I was in the hospital, and every 2 hours they had to take vials
Still
of blood.
not,
Every
still not
two,
donating though.
two.
Well, they had to test that, so it's dirty after
I was
that.
donating for myself.
That's
Okay,
beautiful.
that's well.
That is beautiful. You
Well,
are.
that's-
It's just
and
not
you're a
donating.
hero for that
And,
one.
like, it's just so important. Like when you actually like hear how they have to use blood bags, like it's crazy. Like that is so important. And it's like maybe one person can like donate one bag of blood or something like that.
Sure.
But like the fact that like they'll use like a ton of them in a surgery and what and whatever, like they're just like
And
they
being
just
O
need them.
negative is important too. Because
And I think
Are you O negative and you're fucking gatekeeping your blood from people?
For the record, no. I don't know what I am actually. I could
Neither
probably
do
find
I.
out. But I've had blood taken before. But my mom's O negative and so is my brother. And they like blood banks like hit them up every
They
once in a
have
while.
to.
They'll
Yeah.
be like,
They're like, hey.
I think they
what's
tell you
up?
too, like, hey, we used your blood on a guy. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
so-
kinda
Really?
I had to do I did like and I had to call for the organ donors when I had a close friend pass away. And for his wife, I called them for her so she didn't have to answer like all the invasive questions. And it was super interesting because first of all, they ask you a million questions, but then they said, do you want to be on the list to like let us know, like we'll let you know where the organs end up and how many people it helps. Like with, his whatever, he can help up to like, I think it was like 150 different people from like, cause they could
Wow.
get bone marrow.
I
Cause
mean,
he
they
had a
take
heart
everything.
attack.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, he had like
I don't know the
organs
number,
slowly
but-
shutting down. So he had a heart attack. So it's like, they could take,
But it's not like they
parts
take,
of his
like,
kidney. They could take, all this
all
stuff.
the healthy
like,
parts, not like the
Yeah.
arteries, obviously. I mean,
yeah.
But they could take the biggest thing that I was like, oh, that's so weird. They can take the corneas.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Fascinating.
like a
Can
big
you?
one.
Could you take blood? Or
What do you
no?
mean?
Because
No,
your blood
'cause
is
he's
losing
dead.
oxygen.
The moment your heart
Yeah.
stops beating, like
Wow.
all gets poisoned.
nerves and, well, I don't know about nerves, but like, yeah, all the
Yeah,
cardiovascular
Jordan's
stuff.
dad, it was an organization called Donate Life, and they were able to donate a lot of his body, and they got like letters from family members who received and they were like, this organization like connects you with them. You don't meet like the people
People who've been on
but-
lists.
Yeah,
I think that's a great thing. I think, to bring it back to your question, like, obviously if I knew someone and it was like a dire need, like if you came to me and you were literally like, I'm gonna die if I don't have a kidney, obviously I'm not gonna be like, sorry bro, hope you
Hey,
find
see
one.
you in the next
Yeah,
one.
like, I mean,
I'll do a Facebook
bummer.
post for
Like
you.
I'm the only, like, of course I'm gonna give that up to you. But if it was like, hey, like we heard, like kind of like the hitting them up for rare blood thing. If they're like, we really need your kidney, somebody needs it, I wouldn't be like, yeah, sure. But I feel like if it was like a more personal thing,
Yeah, like a friend.
but I
needs
don't
it.
know. I mean, yeah, maybe I've never just been in that
who do you
situation.
ask first? Like when you need a kidney.
I mean,
who
it's
do you
usually
ask?
family members, right? Like, is because kin is like the closest because you share DNA, and so I mean, I'd be check
I'd
my
be
brother,
knocking
check
on
my
down the line.
sister,
Yeah.
going down the line.
Hey,
Yeah,
Tyler,
I'd be
it's me,
knocking on my
George.
sister's door. I'd be like, "Hey, girl,
I don't know. Would
time-
you?
I mean, that's just
I
like
feel like
logistics,
you might just
know?
be start planning your funeral. I mean, you would just be like, "This is it.
What an
This is
amazing-
exactly what I
I'm
wanted.
done.
I'm 26."
Good way out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be hot and young on my gravestone.
Oh
my God.
Perfect.
Yeah, you can have that even at like 80. We
I
can
know,
just choose
that's
a younger
my
photo of
plan.
you.
That's my plan. Well, I've told you guys the story of how.
Are you gonna have
I
it
got-
etched on your gravestone?
Well, so
Yeah,
my,
it's just really expensive.
My friend
Yeah.
Tyler
Dang.
and I, we had this idea. Tyler, Katie, and I, we had this idea because we were. I'm just gonna say it really fast. We were digging a grave. And we're just not gonna get back to that story. We're like,
I love that story. You can't
We're-
tell it here.
and
I
we're
don't remember
in-
how it starts.
We're
But
in a cemetery and we're walking back to the car. We all have shovels because we were digging a grave, and
Yeah,
we're
I
looking
mean, you
at
guys
these
do that.
headstones. And there's one woman who had like, a ton of stuff on her headstone,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, this girl was like, I want this and I want this. I want like she
like a
was
bunch
like,
of quotes or what?
No, it was like pictures. It was like a sunset, and then an eagle, and then her,
No
and then
way.
like there was like
And,
a
and an
little.
eagle, but the eagle was important, I'm
It
sure.
was,
Very
it was a
important.
lot. There was a lot on her.
Don't forget that eagle.
On her gravesite, and I said, well, actually, I think Tyler said it. She goes, I don't care how old I am. I want a picture of like hot me in a bikini. like remember, like I want my grandkids to come and be like, dang, grandma was hot at one point. Like shoot, like she was a looker.
You want to give them a grandma complex? That's messed up.
No, but like
heck?
okay, because like imagine this. You're walking through the cemetery.
Okay.
And you see a headstone of this like really young, attractive girl, and you're like, oh my gosh, like
And you
that's
fall in
so
love, but
tragic.
she's already dead.
Like when did she die? And you do the math.
Beautiful.
She was 99.
96.
That's the newest Hallmark movie.
96, and then you go, holy crap, she looked amazing at 96. You don't need to know I was 23.
You think,
No one's gonna-
you think anyone's out there putting their old, like, crusty pictures on gravestones?
They are.
Yes.
No, they are.
Bullshit.
Yes.
Nobody's
No,
doing
they
that.
are.
They
Yes.
all are.
Unfortunately, they are.
Yes.
And it's
Heck, I haven't been to a
because-
cemetery in a while.
It's because they're like their kids and their grandkids choose it, and they're like, we want to remember Mimi the way she was.
Remember me as I was.
Crusty and old.
Old
No
and,
thanks. I
like,
wanna be
barely
young.
hanging on? No, thank you.
And that's why I'm gonna do what my grandparents currently did.
Okay.
I'm just gonna get my gravestone, like headstone. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna design it, have it put in place, and then my family.
Design it on Canva.
my
that's
family
what it-
just have to put in the end date.
That's what it used to be. It used to be
way.
like
Your
you
own
you buy your
gravestone.
gravestone.
Pick your plot.
Like my
Sure.
grandpa, he like
Picked his
picked out
plot.
him and his wife's gravestone and my grandma a long time ago. So when he died, it was already there, and then when she died, there was already a plot next to his.
Yeah,
and
I
already
mean,
had the
but
gravestone.
it's the same as, like, writing your will or, like, you know,
Yeah, but gravestones were different.
buying life
Well,
insurance.
they weren't that expensive back
It's, like,
then.
better to need it.
Instead of
And
talking about how
not-
like sad and
whatever.
Death.
death,
Go ahead.
why don't we talk about what we're thankful for? Because yesterday was Thanksgiving.
Yesterday, I'm so full. I'm so full of turkey and gravy, but not stuffing, because stuffing has onions, and I don't like that.
Tracks.
Track.
Tracks
Guys,
so hard.
I'm going to rip into it.
Go
I
ahead.
am
Okay.
thankful for
Oh,
the four of us
Oh, you
getting
bastard.
together every week. Yeah, that's right. I got it.
Ah, you stole it.
I'm thankful for the four of us getting together every week, at the same time, sometimes different times, but mostly the same time, having a meal together, talking about, you know, stuff, talking about a lot of stuff in our lives, catching up. And it's just like been a great little grounding, you know, point through
Yeah.
my week,
Yeah.
especially, you know, the year's been chaotic. The year's been, you know, kind of up and down. And this has just always been a constant. So I'm thankful for that.
It's beautiful. Kara, you're next.
I'm
Ooh,
next.
Opposite.
Yeah,
Wow, we're
popcorn
switching it
Kara.
up.
I am thankful for
Hey, Tiny Tim, can you just be serious for a
Tiny
moment?
Tim.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
thankful
Well, thank you. I'm thankful for that impression, but it's over now, so we're moving on.
Come on, what are you thankful for?
I am thankful that I get to sit next to Annie
Oh, Kara.
during these recordings.
Every once
So
in a
hard to
while.
shame somebody for
You
what they're
can't say
thankful
you
for,
can't say
but
podcast.
No, she
I already
didn't say
said
podcast.
podcast.
She said me.
I
Okay,
said
that's
Annie.
nice. That's fair.
I said
That's fair.
all right, Annie.
Okay, I'm
thankful
thankful.
for
Annie's
hearing
thankful
my
for sitting
voice.
next to Kara.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm thankful for Kara. And no one else.
Okay, I thought we were doing serious.
I thought so
I'm
too.
confused.
I thought so
Fine.
too.
Well,
This is
Ryan's
really
was so
taking a
freaking
turn.
Mine was
sappy.
serious.
Yeah, mine was nice.
Yours
you
was
said
not
I'm thankful for
serious,
sitting next to
Kara.
Annie.
I'm thankful for
Okay,
whenever you
Kara,
guys go to Canes,
again.
I can go in now.
Go again and do a serious one.
Wait, she can't be thankful for me? Like, seriously?
God,
That's so lame.
worst
Worst
segment ever.
Hey, if you're listening to this, we have a new podcast coming out on the couch as always. With
Oh
Kara.
wait, that's
I
actually
have that. Hey, look, I have that coin, so you're gonna have to run some royalties over to the side of the.
We will be suing What the Podcast.
Go ahead.
Okay, what are you thankful for, Kara?
I said it.
Say it.
Oh
say
my
a serious
gosh.
one.
All right,
Say a
this
serious
bit
one.
is so bad. It's so,
I'm thankful for.
sorry.
Are we doing podcast related or just life?
Just life.
Just life.
Just life.
You just happen to choose. this
Mine
is a
just
bad
happened to
start.
be.
This is a bad
You know what? That, I
This is a
blame
bad
myself for
start.
that.
And you should.
I'm thankful that every year we get to spend Thanksgiving with 40 of our close family members.
Ditto.
40.
I think
This year it's actually
40.
30.
Is it 30? Still a lot.
Big
Annie.
family gathering.
Well, I'm thankful for. You said like us as a podcast.
Yeah,
No,
the
you
four
said
of
a
us.
podcast.
No, just
I
that-
think,
that we get together every week.
I had a friend send me a Snapchat, and she pointed out this great thing. Is like my friend group from high school and middle school has been doing like Friendsgiving, Christmas dinner, White Elephant every year
Sure.
since 8th grade.
Dang.
And she pointed out this thing. She's like, you know what? Like, for most of those years, none of us had money, but yet we still did this. And just having, finding community to have those special moments and the sentimental and, love, friends, whatever. Thankful.
Sappy.
John, what about
Guys
you?
are so wrong. I was just thinking about this the other day. I'm really thankful for my wife and her family because I was just thinking about, when you only really get married once, sometimes more, but you traditionally you get married
the eye of the beholder.
once, and it's kind of a gamble on what their family's like because you fell in love with a person. You don't really like get a choice in the family necessarily,
Right.
And her family was so great. I was at a wedding. Her cousin got married on Sunday, and I was just around her family, and I was like, man, I'm so lucky to be a part of this. And I had this moment where they had a bunch of disposables, like a lot of these weddings do, and taking a bunch of shots. And I remember all of her family members were like shooting disposables. And I remember they took one of me and her grandpa, like sitting next to each other. And I remember so they literally took it, and I was thinking like, oh, like these are photos we're going to like look back on in
Yeah.
like 10 years,
Family photos.
and some people will be gone, and we'll all be grown up, and maybe we might have kids, but like it was really sentimental. And that made me think specifically like her family and being a part of that family now. It's a huge honor for me. So that's what I'm thankful for this year.
That's sweet.
I went serious, unlike you guys.
Well, round 2. I'm thankful
oh my gosh,
for.
no.
No.
No more rounds. Let's get to the news. What's the hip and
Yeah,
happenings
let's
of
get
the
into the
world?
happy topic of what's in the news. What happened
Oprah's
this
favorite
week?
things came
No.
out.
Oh, Oprah's
How
favorite
does that
things.
woman still have like?
Now,
She doesn't have favorite things. That's my conspiracy.
Annie's, you've got a bone to pick with Oprah,
I
apparently.
have lots
Let's
of
hear
bones.
it.
Well, I have lots of bones to pick with Oprah.
Okay, just start
Oprah
with the
and I-
biggest one at this moment. Biggest bone you got
Okay,
for Oprah.
my biggest thing currently is her favorite things list. Oprah, for
Stupid.
those who don't know, has been coming out with Oprah's favorite things of whatever
She used to do it on her
year.
show.
She used to do it on her show, and her show was cool.
Just
'cause,
so we
like,
know, prominent black woman, right? Cut her teeth in the industry, trailblazer.
She used to give it away.
who
Every
Oprah
field
is.
she's in.
I'm not-
She's an actress. She's a philanthropist. She's a writer.
I'm not
She made her
posting-
TV show. Yeah, but okay, no, we're talking about Oprah here.
Listen,
Yeah, okay,
I'm
go
talking
ahead.
about her, not her career. I'm talking about the idea that she posts her favorite things.
She's been doing it
There's
for
no
decades.
way in hell that Oprah be using all these
Okay,
products.
pull up her favorite things this year.
It's
Let's see it.
bad. It's
Pull it up.
bad.
Gladly.
Let's pull it up.
Gladly, and I will prove to you that there's no way that Oprah
I'm sorry.
repeat her little spiel.
Oprah. I don't
the
think I
woman in
have to because it's
business.
Oprah. We're talking about
It's
Oprah Winfrey here.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
She doesn't use these things. She just does it.
Okay,
I'm
let's hear it.
confused why you're so
Spout
passionate
off.
about
I
a
have
few of
one
them.
specific
Spout off a
favorite
few.
one.
Look, I'm all about eating the rich, but I feel like Oprah is a
Are you
case
going to share
where.
them? Are you going to share them
Yes.
with the TV?
Oh
Cool.
no.
Oh,
Why not? You should.
just spout them off. Just give us a few.
No,
of
because
them.
it's a big list.
It's
Yeah.
it's like a list of like 100 things. It used to be like 12.
She's a person just like you and me. But go ahead. Let's see what she's not using.
She's not.
okay. Oh my gosh, this is oprahdaily.com.
Okay.
Shop Oprah's favorite products.
Jeez.
It's called the O List.
Okay.
I think it's
Nice.
kind of
Oh,
cool,
because it's
actually.
the O Network.
Yeah. Let me.
Her name's Oprah.
I know.
You want me to
O
share it to the
Network.
TV?
Just can you just
No.
You
describe
can share it
them?
to the
Just
TV.
describe them.
It's super
Okay.
easy.
So
Okay.
it's collapsible bowl set.
No. She got those. She has expensive
Okay,
ass
let's just-
bowls.
Let's
Bracelet,
hear
a
'em.
hair tie bracelet.
Okay.
And Kara brought out a great thing. Oprah ain't wearing no hair tie on her wrist.
She's wearing Cartier.
She's wearing Cartier,
Which is what?
sunglasses.
She's
You
wearing
think she's doing that
Gucci.
all the time? Wait, hold on. You think she's doing that all the time?
Around
Even when
the
she's at
house?
home?
Yes.
Around her
Yes.
multiple homes.
That's wrong. That's not right.
Or she's
Boo.
putting a normal hair tie in her hair.
There's like
Okay.
10 different kinds
Yeah.
of bags on here. And they're like, they range from, there's one blanket I saw I really liked. And I was like, oh, this blanket on Oprah's favorite things. $200 blanket. I believe that Oprah probably uses that.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with that? I don't get
But
it.
the adult coloring book set on her favorite things, I don't think Oprah's sitting there and
Oprah?
coloring.
You don't think
The
Oprah?
light up baseball hat.
Look.
the
The
light
light-
up baseball.
This woman has
Oprah-
a baseball hat that has a light on it, and I would bet
She does
everything
not
I have
wear a hat.
that Oprah
Nope.
ain't walking around in
I don't
that
know.
baseball
Have you
hat.
seen her? She's kind of crazy when she's
I
at
mean,
home.
she's kind of
A
crazy.
light
Like,
up
How many
You're
times have
telling
you
me-
seen Oprah at home?
you're
Jack?
telling me that Oprah doesn't like kick it and do a little adult coloring book every once in a while? She
No.
needs quiet
No.
time.
She
She's
doesn't have
always
time
on
for
the
that.
go. She's all. You think she doesn't have
Oh,
time for
no.
it?
And the
She's
fact that
Oprah. If
there's
she wants
like-
time for it, she'll
I
make
feel
time
like
for
when
it.
she wants time for herself, she'll like be cooking or baking.
Why do
And
you
I
think
believe
that?
that.
So
She's
so
not gonna be
let's-
coloring.
Why do you think that,
Is there any
though?
kitchenware on there?
Yeah, there's tons of kitchenware.
Let's see it.
Wait, just for the record, you guys don't like this list because it doesn't seem like Oprah would use
No.
the
It
stuff.
doesn't seem like
Nope.
Oprah's even touched half
Nope.
this stuff.
So you're saying
You
that
can't make this stuff
It's
up.
all
So
a
what is it?
scheme,
It's
so
all-
people will.
It's a
so
big
she
advertisement.
so she will get paid by these companies to
Well,
say
yeah.
that she
I
uses
mean,
them,
That's a given
Yeah.
for sure. I'm with it
and
on
then
that.
they're on an Amazon list. So then she'll get part of the profit.
Guaranteed.
Sure,
One of-
That
one
doesn't
of
mean
everyone's
Oprah's-
doing that.
That doesn't
One
mean
of
she's not getting a piece of
Oprah's
the
favorite
goodies.
things-
Okay.
One of those giant like snuggy looking.
No,
Yeah, guaranteed.
she has
No.
her freaking bougie blankets.
She's got her
Wait,
cashmere.
I'm
yeah.
confused.
Okay, yeah.
Not a
Oprah's
Snuggie.
Oprah's
not wearing a
a
Snuggie.
snuggie.
If
When she
Oprah-
has her
wait.
cashmere blanket
if
with her cashmere
Oprah wants to
pants.
wear a Snuggie, she'll damn well do it.
No,
Right?
Wait, okay,
Oprah?
so
I can't believe how
Oprah, this
passionate
is
you
to
are
you.
about this.
Oprah?
it's with love, obviously,
Listen.
because Oprah. Look, you think that somebody's speaking for Oprah right now?
I think that there's a whole team, and Oprah's just signing her name at
Sure.
the bottom of the paper.
Yeah.
If you were
And-
Oprah, wouldn't you do the same?
No, if I was
Okay.
Oprah,
Okay,
I would have
yeah,
all the
right.
time in the world, and I would quality test all the shit on my
Okay,
favorite
so,
things
she would
list.
not. You liar.
here was my theory. Is Annie told me this, but by the way, Annie has aired this grievance for pretty much the entire day. Annie
really
told me.
upset
Here
by
was my
it.
theory: is I think that obviously Oprah's a billionaire, multi-billionaire,
A billionaire.
right?
She owns a network.
She has a whole team, right, that follows her around.
Sure.
I think there is one dedicated person that all year long. You know how you're on Amazon and you scroll on Amazon, and you're like, "Oh, I like this. Oh, I want to get this." Oh, and
Yeah.
you get it, or you get it from the store, and obviously she doesn't have to wait to buy stuff because she can just buy whatever she wants. And
No, she's
all
gotta wait
year,
2 days like all of
I
us.
think somebody's writing down, and then at the end of the year, it's not. So maybe it's not perfectly curated. But they're going, "Hey, Oprah, like all year, here's the things you said you liked." And she's like, "Yeah, okay, sign it off." You really think she's wasting her time
I don't think-
looking at her list and going, "Oh, checking it
Here's the
twice
thing
and
that
finding out
upsets
who's
me.
naughty and nice"?
Oprah,
Certainly not.
if you're
Santa.
gonna go out
Certainly
and
not.
say these are
Santa.
my favorite things, I want it to be stuff you use. So if you're like, oh well, what I use is my Cartier bracelet, then fine, girl.
Put it on
but
there.
That's what you use. But don't have these people believing, oh, Oprah, this person I trust.
But like,
this woman
just
who
because
has this
your
great,
perception
Yes,
of Oprah
exactly,
doesn't align
exactly.
with
But
how
that's what
Oprah
I'm
really
saying.
is,
But-
that's not her
That-
fault.
that's
That's
your-
we've seen Oprah's
be
whole
Oprah.
life. We know.
You've seen,
I've seen-
every
listen.
waking and sleeping moment that Oprah has
Yeah.
at home.
Yes.
Oprah has a private road.
See how
on Maui.
ridiculous
I'm gonna
this
call
is?
bullshit on that.
This is-
I'm gonna call
thank
bullshit
you.
on that. Oprah will do whatever. She could put like, "Oh, you know what I like to do? This is my number one on Oprah's list. I like to get naked and cover myself in caviar."
That's great. Put it on there, Oprah.
Makes sense.
If that was on the
Because
list,
you
she'd be
would-
like, "She doesn't do that."
No, I
She's
would
like,
be like,
"That's
yeah,
my favorite
that makes
thing."
sense that
She'd be like,
someone
"That's
rich
my
and
favorite
famous
thing."
would bathe in
Wait,
caviar.
She's like, "You know what
Yeah.
else I like to do? Freaking sled down a hill on a gold freaking
Yes.
sled."
Yeah,
Yes.
and that would make sense.
Yep.
So you think
But
they all
Oprah
have to be
ain't-
outlandish?
Oprah ain't putting on that freaking flashlight hat.
False.
No,
I think
she's
she
not.
is. I think that Oprah, she's got grandkids,
think she
and
loves
she
them.
may go to
Touched it.
the off
have grandkids?
late
I don't think she
afternoon,
has
evening,
grandkids.
doesn't she?
I don't think so. I don't think she ever had kids.
I don't know.
Didn't she?
Her friend has
Cares
grandkids.
Maybe. Okay, she
Gail.
knows people with kids.
Gail has grandkids.
Yeah,
I
she
can
goes
see
to Gail's.
Gail in one of those little hats, but that's not on Gail's favorite
And
thing.
so you're telling me that she doesn't go with Gail to the like late evening, outdoor event, and maybe she wants to see when she's walking back to her car?
I think what I think you should consider, Annie,
Yes,
is that
let's
there
hear
is
it.
a lot of Oprah's life that we are never
We'll
going to
never see where the sausage
And
gets made.
I think
All
there
I
is
know
a
is
time
that
she
if
wears
I
that
came
stuff.
from
I think
came
there
up
is.
from the bottom,
Yes.
I would only want to have bougie things.
No,
Yeah, that's
She
you
does.
though.
not necessarily.
And she does.
Not
She has
necessarily.
bougie
She's
things.
no.
It's
She's
Oprah.
bougie
she has
lady.
a close connection to her roots.
No,
so
she's a
look,
bougie lady.
Look.
No.
There's things that you like right now, right? You like certain kind of
Oprah-
shoes.
You are
you like certain
making
sweaters.
so
Listen,
many assumptions about Oprah.
if I was
love
rich And I was like, oh, I really, that doesn't stop me from liking, the jeans from Levi's or the t-shirts from Target. Like, I'm going to still wear that stuff even when I'm rich.
No.
Right? No, you don't think
I
so?
think maybe Levi's.
You know how?
Sure. I don't think
Wait,
you're
hold
doing
on,
Target
hold on.
for
Oh,
Annie,
okay. So
Annie,
now you're gatekeeping brands. That's what it is?
No.
So you
that's
think
rich.
when I
How
come
did
up,
I become you in this
you think
moment?
when I come up, I'm
Ryan.
not going to still wear Target brand stuff?
Well, that's assuming I think you're going to come
Yeah,
up.
you're full of crap. You're full
Annie,
of crap.
also-
yeah, and if you want a freaking seat on this Zeppelin that's going straight to the top, you better
Zeppelin?
freaking get on board with Oprah's list because we stand Oprah.
Annie,
Okay.
also,
I'm not
what
standing-
another thing that
I'm
I
not
want to bring
standing
up is that
against her.
Go ahead.
she's been rich for
Hit her
a
with it.
long time. It's
Long
not like
time.
she's new money at this point.
She's not.
So there is a chance that she likes the simple stuff. I mean,
Listen,
she's
listen.
had
Yes.
the great stuff
Yes.
for a long
Listen.
time.
Yes.
So a flashlight
Hear, hear.
hat might
Here's the
seem to
thing.
be like,
We
oh, that's
love
something we
Oprah.
like.
You know what? And
We
I know
love
the same
Oprah for
stuff
that.
happened when she had her show, but at least on her show, it was her holding the item, and she's like, "This is this," and I love it. I want a video of Oprah going
So
through
that's
her
what you
favorite
want.
things.
You want her to say
2022,
it.
I want you to hold up every one of your
She's-
freaking things
and be like,
prove
and
to
use
me
it.
that
Wait,
you
right,
actually
use it.
touched
She wants
it.
them to her to hold it.
Yes, we're calling out Oprah on this one.
Okay,
Oprah,
if this was my
you're
favorite
called to the
things,
stand.
if it's Annie's favorite things,
Yes.
I'd be like, "Oh, hi, I'm Annie, and I am a millionaire." And one of my favorite things this year was this phone case.
Oh, nice. Oh, so you want a haul?
Yeah,
you want a
you
review.
really think she's using this fold up backpack?
Guaranteed.
Yeah, the
100%.
fold-up-
Guaranteed.
She doesn't need
I
a
would
backpack.
bet my
She has
life savings
30
she uses
assistants
that.
No.
she uses
You think
as her
that's the
backpack.
life she lives? Maybe.
Yes.
Every once in a while, she just wants to get away from it. She's not Michelle Obama. She's not like.
I would believe
now
Michelle
these
Obama's list more than
$88
Oprah's.
pearl earrings make sense.
Yes,
She would wear
I
those.
believe that she's touched those.
Yep.
Look, here. When we get down to
I
brass
want it
tacks,
quality
here's
tested
brass tacks.
by
Ready? Oprah, it's Oprah's list. Okay,
Yeah.
if Oprah
When
wants
you
to
get a
put,
list, you can
she
control
could
whatever
put
you
freaking-
want
This
on there.
Sperry duck float.
She could put
boot.
freaking Hostess
No.
Twinkies on there.
No.
She ain't
And
touching
that would be
them.
her prerogative because it's Oprah's. When Annie's list comes out, I can't wait to read it. I can't wait to
I will
read
drag
Annie's
every
favorite
single
things.
item.
I'll have to read it
And I
because it'll
won't-
be a
and you
video,
know what? And
and
you know
I'll
what?
prove that I touched
And I
everything.
won't question it at all. When you say, "Oh, today's sponsor is," oh, I'm sorry. What I meant to say was, I like these things.
Roverland
Yeah, I won't
out of
question it at all.
office pet carrier. Can
Yeah.
someone look up if
She's
she has
got
pets?
dogs.
She
got dogs.
does have dogs.
Guaranteed.
Are we sure?
Oprah.
I thought you
I'm
knew her
just
whole
saying,
life.
I
You
want
just
the
a
video.
second ago,
True.
you guys were saying that
Dang,
you knew her
dang.
inside and out.
Straight up, straight freaking up. Does she have dogs? That's
A
like,
second ago, you guys were like, I know every second of every day that Oprah lives. And
She's
now you're like,
freaking
does she have
casting-
dogs?
she's dipping her toes in gold and diamonds. She's eating rubies.
Yeah, this stupid puffy blanket. She does not have this.
She does not use
A National
the
Parks
National Park
puffy
puffer
Okay, that's pretty-
blanket.
Hey, will you buy me one of those?
Yeah.
Oprah is not using it.
Guys, I want all my
Oprah.
Christmas list or all my
From
Christmas gifts this year
Oprah's
to be on
favorite
Oprah's favorite things.
I will
Love.
Is she really wearing this hat and scarf set? No. It's freaking ugly as F.
It's cute.
No.
That's pretty hideous.
Nope.
That is hideous.
Nope.
Oprah,
I'd wear
now
that.
my judgment of you is even lower because you even allowed that on your list. I know you probably never even seen it, but
Okay.
really, Oprah?
Okay.
Yeah, that's rough.
Look, we're gonna move on from Oprah's list.
Well,
I just think you guys are being a little hard on Oprah at this point in time. Like,
It's been
who
a rough
cares?
week.
And look,
Okay.
I'm all about eat the rich. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
I
all
know.
about.
You have
Really,
Ryan here
Ryan
defending
over here.
Oprah,
I
which
just
is a miracle.
I feel like there's some I feel like she's earned it. I feel like
she
she
gets a
has
pass?
earned it. She gets a pass. Absolutely.
I'm gonna start pulling photos of her wearing this type of stuff because I know
You will
she
not
dresses
find
like
one.
that.
I'd love to
No.
see it.
Oprah.
I just went through her whole Instagram and it's all bougie.
You went
as-
through her entire Instagram right now. You went
I
through the whole
scrolled.
thing.
I scrolled.
You went through all of her
It's
photos.
bougie.
Okay, let's
I mean, she
let's not
probably
do
doesn't
this.
have
Let's
that
not do
many.
this. We'll
Oprah-
dissect it later.
Oprah's
We'll
tearing
dissect
us
it later.
apart.
Guys,
After
I don't like
Thanksgiving.
what Oprah's doing to us. I don't like this.
A good thing in the news, student loan debt has been extended again.
Ooh, another 6 months.
God bless. Because of Joe Biden being sued.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yes.
Joey.
I don't know what they're suing him for.
Here. I got you.
Well, let's go ahead and pivot because
What? I had.
okay, go ahead.
That
You
was
were
my
prepared on that
story.
one?
Wow.
Go ahead.
Come on.
Dead.
Talk
You-
about Joe
you-
Biden
dead in its
getting
tracks.
sued.
Yeah, you have
Dead
to
in
pull
its
yeah,
tracks.
You got to pull up more data. We're dead already.
Oh gosh.
It is.
Would you, if
Till
you had the
June.
chance?
He
Can you
says
cut
he's,
to me? Can you
he's
cut to me really quick, John?
confident in his
Yeah, I
plan.
I have a reference. I hope you
ahead.
guys get. Do you hear all the empty spaces?
The program was struck down by a lower court judge in Texas for everyone's student loans.
Come on, Annie. Come on, Annie. Do you hear all the empty space? Kara knows it, and she's withholding it intentionally.
I don't. I
Dumb
don't know what
and
you're
Dumber.
doing.
Ace Ventura.
No, it's from Holes.
Oh, I do love.
I don't remember that part.
Sigourney Weaver.
Love
I don't
that movie.
The
remember.
little
that part.
guy goes, I just filled up their water bottles just now. And she goes, excuse me.
Oh,
Go ahead and cut to my camera, John. And then she goes, Zero, can I see your water bottle? Do you hear all the empty space?
and then she claws him with
Yeah.
rattlesnake nail polish.
Great movie.
Oh, that's right.
That was like our podcast just now, just for a moment.
just
for
for
a
a
hot second.
moment.
Just for a moment.
Okay,
It
I'm
was
just
like
not
Holes.
going to talk anymore.
That's fine.
Go ahead.
That's fair. Well, we are going to transition. Unfortunately, we do have to talk about something that really tragic that happened in this country
Yeah.
this week. In Colorado Springs, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah, that's right.
it was a gay nightclub, and a shooter entered the building. It took the lives of 5 people. And
Injured 25.
damn, I
others.
hate talking about this kind of stuff, but you know, it keeps happening in this country. So I don't know. Where do we begin with this one?
And there's connections here.
Oh,
Yeah, that's rough.
that was so rough. Ryan found an article, right? It was Ryan.
It was me.
Found an article that the shooter has ties to a local state congressperson,
We're not saying his name.
Randy Vopel.
I couldn't tell you his name. Oh, is that?
Randy
Vopel.
It's a
Vopel.
grandson, grandfather.
It was Randy Vopel is the shooter's grandfather. He just recently lost his seat in the California, I believe it's House of Representatives. I don't think he was the California Senate.
And
Wasn't
apparently,
he? He was a GOP.
No, he wasn't a Senate. He
right?
was a House.
Yeah, he was a GOP member.
and apparently really outspokenly positive about the January 6th incident,
Yes, he
insurrection.
called it. He related it to that of the Revolutionary War.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, he just recently lost his seat, so you
Well.
know. Yeah, but tragic. But one thing, there's no real highlight out of
Yeah.
anything like this. The person who stopped the shooter
Yeah.
was a veteran who happened to be there with his family watching a drag show going on.
Now this was awesome. I mean, Annie sent me this TikTok this morning, and I literally was like in tears in my bed, like just listening to this guy's story. He was just like, just went for it. Like he was like, I don't know what happened. Like I just realized like
into
this was
it.
the moment. You know, I had to do what I had to do, and
Yeah, he said his first instinct was to fight back. He said it brought me right back into it.
yep.
And he goes, I just knew I had to fight back. And he tackles him and held him until the police came.
Yep. I mean, so the question is, I mean, yeah, like, what would you do in that situation? You guys ever watch that show? What would you do? Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. I mean,
Fully different circumstances.
no,
but-
absolutely.
I mean,
but you know,
what's-
I feel like I always end up asking myself that question, like when this kind of thing comes up, like when you hear about that, like, oh, and this guy jumped right to action. Obviously, I never
Yeah.
served. I never was in
Well,
the
and I think-
military. I never had any kind of combat training. But I like to think that I would jump into that situation.
Yeah. One thing that's going to come out of this is it's going to, obviously, as shootings always bring up, the talk of gun control. Mm-hmm. And here's something that I think is kind of like a middle ground. The reason that guy jumped up and tackled him beyond that of just being a heroic person is he had experience and felt comfortable around firearms.
Okay.
You know, like if he hadn't been around firearms, he probably would have more of an innate fear. But because he had served and been so familiar with
Veteran, yeah.
firearms, he felt fine to jump and, you know, tackle this guy. He probably had more confidence having been around them than that of people who have never seen a gun in their life. And it's going to come to this thing of like, the person who had the gun was in the wrong, but also a person who has been around guns is the one who also helped save probably other lives.
True.
So it's going to come down to like both sides in some way, I think, are correct in this. Of like, if there had been more reform, sure, maybe the shooter wouldn't have had a gun. But also because that people have had the opportunity to be around guns and no firearm safety, he felt safe enough to.
Yeah, but I don't think it's his firearm safety that made him jump into
No,
action.
he's just a hero.
Right. So I don't know if they're.
But I think that probably played a part.
Sure.
If he had never seen a
100%.
gun, had never been around a gun, he probably wouldn't feel safe.
It's always
Yeah.
going to spur a conversation of gun control in the way of, you know,
It
it's gonna
always does.
There are people going to take sides.
I just
here.
feel it doesn't really go anywhere. Like as soon as it hits the news cycle, it's like a 3-day thing. Like we hear about this tragedy, right? And then
It'll be all the politicians
immediately,
taking stands.
yes, it's like, this is why we should have guns. This is why we shouldn't have guns. And then no reform really happens. We just kind of end the conversation there with like, you know, the people that are supposed to be representing us going, well, agree to disagree. And it's like, okay, yeah, until the next, you know, school shooting, until the next shooting in a nightclub. Like what, I don't really see a bypass to that. What do you think, John? I'm gonna kick it over to you.
Well, first answer Ryan's question of
Well,
what would you do?
We can get to that. Yeah, sure. I mean,
that's always a what if, you know, I think just based off of my reaction to potentially dangerous things that I've like been around, nothing that was super serious, but like
Sure.
I do kind of feel that like when I think something's going wrong or I feel like somebody might be in danger, I do feel like I kind of move towards it. Not saying I would do that. I would react in that way in that situation, but I think like, I don't know. I in the instances where I thought like a fight was going to break out, I just find myself like getting close to it, like making sure no one gets hurt kind of thing.
Yeah.
sure.
I'm not my oldest brother is the exact opposite. Bobby it has the opposite reaction where something starts breaking out, he immediately removes himself. So that's where I'm like, I
Sure.
don't know where I would land on it, but it doesn't matter. But in this instance, I mean, it's a pretty awful thing. That's no doubt about it. I think what's kind of disheartening in all of this is I'm seeing a lot of people post like pointing fingers at the sides of the parties, and that's
not
the worst scenario. You know, like I saw somebody post a thing.
The parties being who? You're talking about political parties?
Republican
or-
and
Parties.
Democrats.
Okay.
I mean, it's like a lot of Democrats, and really it's a lot of people who are obviously historically Democrat, you know, pointing the finger at the Republican Party, kind of saying like, well, if you know, this wouldn't happen if we had better rules, you
Right.
know, and I don't know that that's like really the point that we should be getting at all this. And it's really disheartening to see like this tragedy happen and then seeing people that just immediately going to be like, I would never trust my kids with a Republican congressman. And it's like,
I don't know.
Sorry,
It's
what?
kind of hard to. I hear what you're saying, and I'm right there with you. Obviously, in that I don't think pitting each other against each other helps. It's hard to not when an event like this happens that feels so like agenda, like charged with an agenda. Like it's a gay nightclub. It's a drag show they were watching. And
Yeah.
when you do have, you know, these conversations come up when we're talking about, you know, gay rights and trans rights, and there's clearly, you know, that rhetoric on the side of, you know, the conservative side that's saying like, you know, these people don't deserve rights. These people are a menace to society. Like it's kind of hard to not go, okay, well, you know, that kind of rhetoric stirs up that kind of action. I mean, you know, it's like, and then you have a situation like this. You know, it's not like this guy decided one day, oh, I'm going to, you know, flip through the phone book and pick I'm going to shoot up that place, right? I mean, obviously, random acts of violence happen all the time in schools and stuff, but like,
yeah, I
you
think
get where I'm going.
I think I agree with what you're saying. I think what we're talking about in this is a very small group of a Republican side. You know, I think a majority of the Republican Party right now is more moderate when it comes to gun control.
Sure.
And it's almost like saying,
I don't know.
It's almost like saying like those protesters who keep gluing their hands to friggin' paintings. It's almost like saying like, that's environmentalists. You know, it's like, well, no, it's
Sure.
not. That's like these fringe, like crazy environmentalists who like, again, don't represent the party at all. But
Right.
sure, yeah, I guess they're environmentalists, but they're just doing it in the wrong way, you know? And so
yeah, I hear that.
I mean, that's where I'm like, here's what I'll say. I do think there needs to be change, but I don't think change starts with a politically charged statement like pointing the finger at the other party. I don't think that happens.
Right.
It's like immediately stop, because then the other side gets immediately defensive and says like, well, you know, if we had more gun, you know, it's just like
There's just no effort. I just feel there's no effort. Like we haven't even considered the no guns thing. Like we just get to this conversation and then it's like, nope, that's our God-given hand of the Bible, Second Amendment right. And it's like we haven't even tried what if we considered, cutting back assault rifles? What if we considered, you have to be this, like putting anything into action? I just feel like we just have this same conversation every time. I don't know.
Yeah. Annie?
I think, we're in like a voting year. We just, we all just voted.
Right.
And one of the big things that is coming up is this conversation. We have presidential elections around the corner. Is this conversation of like electoral college and all this stuff, and do our votes matter? And, and one thing that, in like founding fathers have, kind of the reason they put the electoral college in place, and many of them in their own personal writings have kind of like heed this warning to America, like try to listen to it, because they kind of speak of like to put all the information to the masses is going to have a mutiny in itself. And I think we're kind of there, where we have so much access to everything, and we're having politicians come out as soon as like breaking news hits and just make these statements of like, here's my opinion, here's what we think, and here's what that congressman said in our meeting, and this is what's happening here. And it's like there's almost like the whole reason for this was because to put it all on the people, you're gonna have just this chaos that can't be solved. There's like a reason that there's a veil. There's a reason that we elect people to have these conversations for us and to put it back to the people, where I think we are free Republican. We need to have freedom, and we should be able to vote, and our vote should matter. And, electoral college should represent us the best, like a true representation. There's also like the reason they put it in place was because of stuff like this, where if we have every piece of information and we give it to the American people to solve, we'll never solve it because there's too much. It's too much of a gray area at times.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's Pandora's box. Like like you said, like it's open now. So how do we solve it now? Like we don't try to just go, okay, well, like let's keep that separation. And it's like, well, now the cat's out of the bag. Like, what do we, like how do we govern now?
Yeah.
Here's a little fact.
Let's hear it.
Give it.
So his grandfather,
Okay.
Randy Vopel,
Randy
Vopel.
he was mayor of Santee during the Santana shootings.
Wow. A
Okay,
lot of history
Randy.
there.
Weird.
A little
Randy.
too on the nose. Get out of here.
Buddy. That's rough.
Weird.
That's terrible. Yeah.
I want your take, Kara. What are you thinking over there?
It's just sad. It just happens everywhere.
Yep.
And it sucks. It just there's no stopping it, because you need guns, you don't need guns. There's people who are licensed to use guns. You need them at some moments. Other moments you should not be allowed to walk in any place. Like, do you put more security? Do you have metal detectors everywhere? Do you
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, I feel like it's going to get to the point with not just every club, but specifically gay clubs.
Right. Sure.
Yeah,
I'm
the fact
sure
that
a
it's
lot of them
already-
do. Yeah.
It's already been, it's one of the first things that when my roommate and I were talking about it, that's one thing she pointed out. She goes, why do I feel like it's continually these clubs of people who, for the vast majority, is just like, they're just trying to have, equal representation, equal rights, and just like have the love they want. And people are just,
It's just like
horrible.
I feel like it's so low hanging fruit to like dunk on people like that. Like they've already struggled so much. Like
It said in the article too, it said that a customer beat him with his own gun. So I'm guessing that was the veteran.
Yeah.
And then one of the drag
Veteran
queens
screwed him
stomped
up
on him.
his face. Yeah.
Stomped
One of the
on
drag
him.
queens?
Yep.
Yeah.
hell yeah.
fierce.
Well, I mean,
I mean, that's the other part about this that I hope doesn't get lost in the gun control conversation is like, this is just like a hate crime.
a hate
Yeah,
crime.
Like
Flat
that's,
out.
this is the other thing that I hope, again, doesn't get lost in the details, is that this was a targeted attack on a group of people.
100%.
Sure thing.
And that's really, I think, the big, equal, if not slightly bigger conversation in America is how we're treating these groups of people when they have just as we're talking about rights, right? We're talking about gun rights. It's like, yeah, this is America. You have the right to do whatever you want. That doesn't mean you can go out and like harm the people because of the way they live. You know, like how have we gotten so far off track on that? Like,
Yeah.
aside
100%.
from your beliefs, because again, like religiously or whatnot, whatever, like we're so quick to like be worried about my ability to do what I want to do, and it's like these communities, these clubs, and these communities, like, that's just what they're doing.
I mean, unfortunately, like it seems like they're all separate things, but they really correlate so closely. Like
I know.
the fact that like people have this idea of this country and it's based on, you know, Christianity, right? This country
Yeah.
that was founded on this religion has a certain set of rules, you know, depending on who you ask, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and they'll, you know, certain kind of people, they'll take that to their grave and they'll go, okay, if I'm not out there literally killing people, I'm not defending this country. If I'm not like actively hating people, then, you know, what am I? Like, I don't have anything else. You know, it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like guns, power, right? The government, power, like pushing down minority groups, power. Like, it's all connected. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it's where you grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too, like what you're exposed to. Yeah.
And I think that's
100%.
one hard thing for me is like, for us, I mean, California, like RuPaul, like so many of my friends watch RuPaul's Drag Race. It's just like commonplace. It's not something to be thought of as like taboo necessarily, or like I don't think, you know, like,
You know, 20 years ago it was.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't
absolutely,
think like
but-
nowadays I wouldn't think of like a drag queen as being like, oh my gosh, like we personally know people who we love who do drag, like, you know, it's nothing, it's not a big deal to us, and we don't
And I
think of
guess,
it as something like,
do you
that
think
would be
it
seen as a big
became
deal.
not as taboo like here so much faster
Yeah.
than anywhere
Of course.
else?
I mean, yeah, San
1000%.
Diego,
Like,
Southern
I'm sure it's
California is
still-
a fairly liberal.
I'm sure it's still taboo
maybe the
because I
most
want to
liberal.
know, like, in
I
It's
mean,
taboo in
I don't
Utah,
know.
but
Utah,
Remember
like 5 years ago,
UK
people were
YouTuber
like
that I
started
showed
to
you guys.
see
Remember he went to that one
be
place,
exposed.
yeah.
the most racist town in America,
Oh,
and like,
right,
and
right,
like,
right.
and like that was like
The like
2 years
KKK
ago.
leader.
yeah.
Crazy.
I
That
mean,
is
you know,
crazy.
if that's anything, it's a tale, you know, it's a fairy tale, like, what do you call it? You know, like the moral
fable.
to the story here is like, yeah, just continue to gain more information, expose yourself to more new people that don't look like you, people that don't like think the same thing as you. And like, otherwise you're just pushing yourself further down and going, oh, I'm, you know, setting my beliefs forever. Like, and then you
Yeah.
become the
Yep.
leader of the KKK in a backwoods, like, cult. Like,
Yeah, also leader of the KKK, his house not great.
No, bad,
Like
no.
bad, beaten
leader
down.
of like a giant organization like that, and you live in that.
I mean, maybe not as giant as we're
Yeah,
thinking.
proves that you guys are fleeting. Thank God. Good.
That was
riddance.
it.
Down with the KKK.
and it's over. It's a
Very,
wrap.
very controversial take for you, Andy.
Down.
But nice.
Dare you?
No, just great. Great to take a stance.
I do think as time goes on, like we'll see less and less of it, you know, because I was just think about like 30 years ago, how much more of like of a taboo it was for
Yeah.
for all the things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
And it does feel like we're not getting anywhere, but the reality is like there has been progress.
Absolutely.
It just feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You know, like it just feels like we do get to a good spot. And then,
when did Ellen come out?
The
90s. I think 92.
That was like on her show. And she
Yeah.
got blacklisted for it. They were
Yeah,
like,
she didn't work for
they
years.
canceled her show. She was like not allowed on any network. And then, you know, time,
I mean, and look,
culture
she's
caught
been
up.
blacklisted
But how
again
much?
for
How
not
much
being
longer
gay,
did it
but-
last?
And
Like,
now
how
she
long did that
has,
last?
you know, the same rights as us to be, you know, canceled because she sucks, not because she's gay.
Yeah, no one cares that she's gay. Everyone
Nobody cares that she's gay now. Now just because she sucks. Just because she's a terrible person.
it's true.
A terrible person. Ellen
Wow.
the terrible
Well, I'll say this.
person.
It just is, it's sad.
Yeah.
And I think my response is trying to like listen.
Yep.
And also be a part of the conversation and not a part
Yeah.
of the problem by saying, I think, like I said before, I think us just, you know, we should be voicing our concerns to the people that can make decisions.
Yep.
And you know, when, as this legislation, you know, maybe or potentially, or if it ever does come to pass, like vote accordingly. I mean, that's the only way we can, right?
Yeah.
It's
and
like,
I know that's the answer. And I just feel like as a doer, I'm like, what, like, tell me where I should go right now. Who should I talk to right at this moment? And like switch off the racist switch, the
Well-
bigot switch. Like, let's just turn it off. Like,
I think just talking to people too, like
Yeah.
making it more of conversation. Like just bringing it up.
But that's my point. Is like it's not a. Let's go do it right now. It's an overtime.
No.
It's a 1 grain of rice a day in this.
I mean, we could
big bag of rice.
We could register. We could ask everyone. We could do a Facebook poll and say, "Hey, are you racist?"
Okay.
Or no, not even racist. We'll just say, "Are you a bigot?"
Yes.
And everyone who
That's
says
a wider
yes,
range. That's good.
We could give them a plane ticket.
Okay.
To
The Bermuda Triangle.
the Bermuda Triangle.
Flown by
Island.
Amelia Earhart.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
There we go.
Really beautiful. Really
And that's-
pretty beautiful.
well, so, okay,
And
I
that's
had-
what the podcast on bigots.
Or better yet, we
Let's just
send
all
them
put them on a
to
plane
no, we
and
send them
fly them
to
away.
the
we
island.
send them to North Korea.
Okay.
Send them to North Korea.
Okay.
All of the bigots will fight Kim Jong Un, right?
Yeah.
That's his name.
Tread lightly. Nice.
And then once we see how that plays out,
We take.
we either
them
come back and we're like, "You've learned your lesson.
Okay.
Come back,"
Okay.
or thanks for,
Serving.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your service.
thank you for your service.
I think we do that. It's called the military. I think.
No.
What
No.
is going on?
Oh, boo.
No, people in the
No.
military are not all bigots.
No,
Nobody
I know.
goes
That
to
was
North Korea.
just a cheeky little bit. And
Yeah.
Fine, Bermuda Triangle, whatever.
our viewership in North Korea is just.
They're not allowed to
plummeting.
watch us.
Plummeting
They're
right
not
now.
allowed to watch
All of
us.
our-
Okay.
If you're a North Korean
They're
viewer,
doing it, and that's what makes them
please
great.
leave a comment on this video. We would love to talk
They're
to you.
not. No, she's right. They're
Yeah,
not.
no.
They're not
You never
watching
know.
it.
You never
okay,
know.
that's fair.
Secretly.
Fair.
They could be
VPN.
pirating.
This got away from us really
Yeah,
quickly.
it did.
This
did.
what do you call
But
it?
I think, okay, to
This
answer your
analogy.
question you said many moons ago,
Okay.
what would I do in that situation? A
basically
shooter
fight or
comes
flight.
in.
Look, I said I was gonna jump right to
Yeah.
defend, and well, Kara seemed to not think so. So, what do you think about that, Kara?
Deep
Yeah,
in your
Kara.
heart, I know that you wouldn't do that.
That's really hurtful.
Dang.
That hurts my feelings.
Well, okay, maybe
care.
she doesn't mean like you wouldn't want to do it, but like when you're looking at Kara and then you're seeing a gun, I don't think you're gonna be like,
No.
oh, let me go run towards the gun. You're just gonna protect Kara.
Yeah, she's making it sound better.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
You
look,
love Kara so much.
if there was a
you're not
gun
gonna leave her
there,
in
good
that
job,
moment.
Eddie.
and there's a Kara there, I'm
And he's
obviously
patching up the hole here.
Yeah.
She's
No, you're
patching
gonna
it
go.
up.
You're gonna go. Nah, someone else can do it.
I strongly
Yeah,
Someone else will
jump
do
up
it.
there.
I strongly disagree with that.
By the way, I think you jump into action.
Thank you.
100%.
Shut
I'm not
up,
even. I'm not
John.
even being a bit.
Stop
I'm not
trying
even
to kiss his
joking.
ass.
Kiss
No, I'm
ass.
not joking. I'm being serious.
Yeah,
I
of
do think you
course.
would.
I mean, like, why would I not? Like, obviously, I've never been in that situation before. I don't really know what you're referencing. Like,
You might think about doing it.
Yeah, wait, what's your evidence?
You might put your plan in motion in your
Yeah,
head, and then
done.
someone else does it before you. You're like, oh well, I didn't have to do
Dang.
it.
So you're just saying he's not fast enough
No.
to react.
that's fair.
Ooh.
That's fair.
You
I'm
know
not a
what?
fast
That-
runner. Not a fast runner. How far away is he?
They would definitely.
He's
see
across
it.
the room.
Are there other people across the room?
Yeah, the room's full.
I mean, yeah, okay. I'm just saying logistically, if there's somebody over there, I'm not going to go over there. There's already somebody over there.
I'm trying to change my mind.
See?
Okay, well, we didn't say the logistics. But if
No,
we're
in your mind, somebody else will do
okay,
it.
if somebody
No,
walked
but
in
if they
this
have it
room,
right next to him, do you think you would jump
if
into
somebody
action?
walked in this room
Maybe
right
if
now,
the person was right in front
I'd
of him
jump to
and
action.
he was
Yeah.
like behind,
yeah, of course.
you wouldn't run though into action.
It's like the donating kidney thing. If somebody's right there in front of me going, "Can we have your kidney?"
No.
I'd be like, "Yeah."
No, you'd say no.
I'd reluctantly tackle the gunman.
For $100.
Yeah.
$100. How much are you willing to
How much
give
you got
me?
on you?
I think I would go for it. I had a high school teacher, Mr. Tyler, shout out to you, and he
Probably
said,
watching. Probably
Whoa.
and
watching.
we talked about the school shooter thing because we would have school shooter drills,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes, "Listen, this drill wants me to tell you that we're gonna all hide in the corner, and we're gonna try to like huddle together and build a little fort. We're not doing that." And we were like, "Okay."
Oh.
He goes, "That shooter comes in. I look at you. We all make eye contact. We look back at him. Everyone stands up together."
Oh.
Grabs your
Creepy.
desk, your chair,
Whoa.
and you just ram him. And he goes, "Now some of you will die." That is
That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make
This is the most epic speech I've ever heard.
on a random
that-
Tuesday.
He goes, "But you will have saved so many other of your classmates' lives."
Well, glad I
And
didn't have
I
Mr.
honestly-
Tyler for a
Oh my
homeroom.
god.
God.
Mr. Tyler couldn't convince me to do anything.
Hey, really
I
quick,
was like,
Mr.
you know
Tyler,
Mr.
what the
Tyler?
hell?
Yeah.
Also, why
by
have
the
I
way,
sat so close to the
it's
door,
lunch.
Mr. Tyler?
I'd like to go now.
You're cutting into our lunchtime. Also, why am I right next to the door? Can I sit in the back of the
Maybe in
class?
the back.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny. Well, my classrooms, there was like 4 doors. And
Beautiful.
they were all, none of them locked. The like front door locked, but it was
Where'd you go
all
to
the
school?
classrooms. All the classrooms. There was a hallway connecting in the middle where
Where'd
the
you go to
teachers like had offices, and so there was like
Jamestown.
an indoor. Oh my god!
We had 4 doors, none of them locked though. So
One.
That was for butter churning class. So
Butter churning class.
God.
Yeah, it wasn't great. We also
were
had
the floors dirt?
No, they were concrete.
Okay,
With the
okay.
layer of gravel.
This is not getting better.
Did you guys have the test in elementary school?
Go ahead.
The dirt test.
No, the like on campus like stranger shooter
No.
Oh yeah.
in elementary
Yeah,
school. You
my-
did it in elementary school?
We had fire drills.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
we-
and then the cop would come and shake the door to make sure the doors were really closed.
Yeah.
never
Oh
happened.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys never had
Oh,
But
no,
the
we had
police
the
officer
Yeah,
would come
we
and
had-
shake
we're
it
gonna
and be
be
we
like,
had the
that.
fire
That's
department.
ridiculous.
yeah, and
We
it
had
would be
Bible
like,
class.
hey, open up, it's
Let
me,
us in, let us in, and jam on the
and make
door.
sure no one would run and do it.
Because all of our doors locked in elementary school, our teachers would have to lock it from the inside, and
hide you in the
literally
bathroom.
we'd all have to hide underneath our desks. And they had like little snacks too. They had like the little snack bin of like chew bars and like applesauce.
Turns out it was the
Okay.
teacher all
And
along.
it
They were
literally-
like, "Oh, glad we're in this classroom. Here's a chewy
They
bar."
would literally.
God.
It was
Who knew?
something like
Terrifying. That is
they would
terrifying.
always say like, "Oh, if your door wasn't locked, like your class, you wouldn't be able to go to recess." Or like, so it was like,
Okay,
that's
wait.
the
I'm
teacher's
not
fault.
understanding. So the door had to be locked all day long?
No,
Or
it has
just
to be
no,
locked
during
during
the
the
drill.
drill.
There would be
It would be
there would
like,
be a
It's
siren
a miracle.
that went
It is
off.
a miracle.
I don't
Sure.
get it.
Okay,
I don't
but-
understand it at all.
A siren would go off.
Siren
his
goes
fake
off.
school didn't have
Everyone
that.
had
They
to
were like,
turn off the
whatever.
lights.
Okay.
We'd close
Trying to
the
think,
windows
Ryan
super,
never
super
went to
quick.
school.
Okay, we had like an earthquake drill. You guys ever had
That's
earthquake
not
drills?
an earthquake drill.
I'm starting to
Same
think
thing.
Ryan was homeschooled.
He kind of was.
Ryan, be real.
Oh, shut up.
Do
I'm
you
to normal
actually-
This was
school.
literally
Do you
if you
know
were
where-
if your
Oh,
desk.
sorry, we didn't have a stranger danger test. Yeah, at my school.
That would explain
because I
so
didn't live
much
in the
about
freaking
you.
like sketchy part of town where strangers were
okay.
always checking the doors for
Wow.
school. Oh, they
Is
just
this-
walk through. Oh,
I'm sorry.
doo-doo-doo, we're checking the
Claremont,
doors.
Claremont,
Hey, Ryan,
yes,
you're
Yeah.
sounding very classist right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? You guys are sounding
countyist, you're countyist.
schoolist.
I need you.
You're sounding very
you're-
schoolist.
Hey, Brian.
I don't know what's
privilege is
weirder
showing. You
is-
might want to just tuck that
Wait,
away.
okay, so let me get this straight. You guys had stranger danger
Yes.
drills.
Yes,
So if a stranger came on campus in real life,
would
would they
do the-
just set the
would-
siren off?
Yeah.
Woo,
Yes.
woo, woo,
Yes.
yes.
They would.
I don't
and they
know
would-
what's weirder,
These are
Annie's
full
school
of
or
crap.
Ryan's school.
These
It's
are full
really
of
a
crap.
toss-up at this point.
and literally, if your desk was by the windows, if your desk was by the door, you would help the teacher either lock the door or you
Yeah.
go to the windows,
see,
step
I
on the
never
chairs,
helped the
and pull
teacher
down
lock
the
the
doors.
door. I never
There's
did
a
that.
lot going on
Yeah.
there, and
I
we
told you guys about how there was a shooter drill that my high school teacher
Thought
didn't,
was real.
Yeah, didn't
Yes.
realize it was
Yes.
Yeah.
and she started giving out like weapons to kids, and she had the like football players stand by the door with like trophies and hold the like
Holding 'em up.
marble, and
God.
she was like, anyone walks in, hit him.
now we
Wait,
just had,
what a move.
we
Oh
had
my
a-
gosh.
I thought it was a fire drill. Turns out it was a real fire. So
Oh.
we had that. Science lab blew up.
Brian's like, it's just a
The
drill,
science-
guys.
Is that like when your mom burned the popcorn? 'cause you didn't go to school?
I wasn't homeschooled, Andy.
The science lab.
It used to be a
that's
real school.
Right, that's the microwave. Stop calling it the science lab.
I'm seriously
I went to
thinking
a real
you were
school.
homeschooled.
I hate
He's
you all.
like, you guys, oh, we didn't have any drills. We had like a fire drill.
Oh, you
That's
had,
it.
wait, you had a school shooter drill? Why? Yeah,
There was
we're the
nothing
weird
school
ones.
shooter about your drill. People testing the doors. What are you talking
It
about?
would be
The
the,
whole
the
thing was if there's
firefighters
an
would come
intruder
by
on
and they would
campus.
knock super hard on the door.
To see if someone
Why
would
are the
answer it. Firefighters there.
They were
It
part
was,
of it.
It was an administrative
You guys
to
are
all
blowing
of the-
smoke up my
to
ass right
all
now.
of the
You guys are fully
schools.
making this up. Oh, all of them?
I'm
Really? All
concerned
of
that
them?
Ryan
Well, you
knows
can't go
nothing
to
about
school.
this, you know? Anybody
You're
else
so full of
worried?
shit right
I don't
now.
know where Ryan grew up,
No,
but it was
no.
not
Well,
anywhere
it was
near here.
privilege, I'll
Test the
tell you that.
door. Test the doors. Test. Oh,
Ryan. Ryan's
so
in here
freaking
knocking
funny.
like, no one's gonna get that, guys. Really? He walks over to the door.
When I was little, I remember waiting and I would wait for that door, but I somehow secretly always wanted it to open. like my teacher to like mess up
Yeah.
during the drill and then have a firefighter
And
open
then it
it.
was real. You
when
find
I
out it
was
was a
in middle
real.
school, my teacher thought it was a drill, and it turns out, which it wasn't like a threat, but it turns out there were kids, like high school kids, right behind our school with BB guns, but they had sawed off the orange tip. And they were like walking
course.
around our school.
Yeah, I went to the weird school.
And
Oh yeah, that was just like the Alpine BB gun gang. They were behind the
it was-
school,
it was
so we had to
like
shut
the-
down for the day.
the big like right field is like backed up to the school.
Right,
Right,
great photo
right.
spot.
Great
Right,
photo
right.
spot. And if you're looking for photos,
Just
just check
typical.
out Jordan Rose Photo.
It's true.
But don't go in the afternoon because the BB gun boys will be there.
Oh my God. It was during the day. But moral of the story is my teacher thought it was a drill, so she just like closed the blinds and like didn't do anything else. 3 hours go by, and she's like, "That's so weird that the bells haven't
long
rung."
drill.
Trying to call
Wasn't a
like
drill.
the office. Wasn't a drill. I get out of school, and everyone's like,
You got
"Oh
pelted
my
with
gosh, I
BBs.
was so scared. We were all huddled in the corner. Someone had to use the trash can as the toilet. All this stuff." And I was like,
Yep.
I was like,
Yep.
I was at my desk
Here
doing
we go.
math.
Here we go.
What?
Here we
Talking
go.
about yep.
Ryan?
First of all, I'll get to you in a second.
They had
I'll get to you in a
our
second. You're
teachers
telling
had
me
bins of snacks, and they literally had a trash can devoted to going to the bathroom. And you do it behind the teacher's
You
desk.
said yup, like, oh, yep, once a
Yep.
week. I had to go to the bathroom in a trash can.
The best was
Yep.
Ryan going, I'll get to you in a second.
You're telling me you had a fake drill that you thought was real, and
My
it wasn't.
No.
Well, the worst
it
part was
it
your teacher trying to
My
call.
teacher thought it was a drill, and she didn't realize that
Because you're
it
not allowed
wasn't.
to
And
answer
then
any
you had a
phones.
real drill
Yeah.
that you thought was fake.
Yeah, we had a
Watching
drill.
Ryan
We
on
had
the
a drill.
monitor is
No,
literally
no,
the favorite
Ryan,
thing.
We had a
No, this is two
drill
different
that my-
occurrences.
Two different occurrences.
You
In
had a
middle
teacher
school,
that thought it was real and it was
I-
fake, and then you had one that you thought it was fake and it was real.
And it was real.
You're so. Yeah, that's the normal school. That's the normal school.
Ryan's like, we had a fire drill.
You know what? I'll admit,
I burn popcorn.
our popcorn, the science lab
No.
exploded.
What's the stranger danger drill?
They were making smoke bombs the day in science class. Wouldn't you know it? Somebody set their smoke bomb on fire.
Wow.
Real school.
Real school.
That's where the real school was.
Did you guys? My school used to get out if it was the winds, the Santa Ana winds got too high, because the power would shut off.
That doesn't feel. Oh yeah, that's right. Alpine does that.
The power would black out so they wouldn't start a fire because if the power lines like went down.
Was that the BB boys? They'd turn off the.
No, it was SDG&E, and they would turn off. And if it was off for more than 30 minutes, we all
And
got
the
to go home.
The
So we
BB
would.
boys would
Oh, that's
take
cool.
everybody to the
Yeah.
center of town, and the
so,
sheriff would
like,
have a standoff with them.
Some schools have snow days.
Not face.
We would have
No, not at all.
blackout days where our power would go out and we'd be like, well, going home.
I remember there was one day where
I don't know.
where the
This
AC
really got away
went
from me.
out, and it was like the beginning of the school year, so it was super super hot, and we all got to go home early
Right.
because all the AC went out.
Yeah, but my thing's weird. Yeah.
It is.
Ryan doesn't
Ryan-
believe a word you're saying.
I'm starting to think you guys didn't go to real school.
Your school
Gaslight.
doesn't exist anymore,
Right?
so
Your school does. All of our schools still
They-
exist.
they're
can't prove
still
that.
there.
I
I
can't
can,
prove
I
that.
can make a diploma to your school and say I went there.
Oh, really? Could you?
Because there's no way to verify it.
I'd
Well,
love
you
to
could
see
just
that.
you could just ask
I'd love
his
to see
mom. I'm
that.
sure she still has the PDF.
Okay,
she used.
yeah, very funny. Very funny. On the couch as always, Kara Tafoya, Eddie Scobman. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
and we'll see you next week on
What the Podcast?